Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Naruttamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanachalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Tada Mayam Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले रघुनाथ स्वामी नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषवादी पाश्चात्य वाचालम पंकम लंघयति गिरिम यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवम श्री चैतन्येश्वरम हरि ओम हरे कृष्णा. So hope you all had a blissful Balram Purnima. Yesterday, Janmashtami is coming, just a week around the corner. Of course, pretty much in many places across India, Malaysia, devotees are also relishing in watching the Mahavatar Narasimha movie in Kuala Lumpur. Many devotees went to the theaters today to see. So anyway, a lot of devotees are busy in their absorption in various festivities and beautiful kathas, as they should be. So thank you for joining tonight. Yesterday, we were busy in the Balram Purnima celebrations. So apologies, I had to move the class to today. So today we'll be discussing chapter 10 of the 8th canto. This chapter is entitled The Battle Between the Demigods and the Demons. So actually the Samudra Manthan saga is not yet over. Yeah, a quick recap. Indra Dev makes a mistake, offends Durvas Muni, gets cursed, loses all the opulence, big mess. The Devatas are trampled over by the demons who become very powerful, guided by Shukracharya. They lose their kingdoms and they are in a big mess, and they, despite all their brainstorming, cannot figure out how to fix it. They go to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma says, this is too big for me. Let's go to Lord Shri Hari. They go on the bank of the ocean of milk in Shvetadvipa, pray to the Lord. Very beautiful. Brahmaji prays. Glorifies the Lord very beautifully. Eventually the Lord appears. after beautiful prayers. The Lord appears on the bank of the milk ocean. Nobody is allowed entry inside. So when he appears there, apparently only Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva can see his transcendental beautiful form, which is described in great detail. All others, they're just blinded by the effulgence of Lord Hari. The Lord gives a very beautiful message. Message that I will help you, but you have to play to the cycle of time. What does play to the cycle of time mean? I will fix it, but it's not that because you are here, I will snap my finger and poop. My will is manifested in the form of the wheel of time. And I have to be fair to all living entities according to the laws of nature. I cannot, I not that I cannot, I will not simply disrupt the whole system. So suggestion given by the Lord, the counsel given by the Lord is, even though the demons are our enemies, go and strike a deal with them. Why will we strike a deal with them? We are lost. What will they want from us? Tell them that there is Amrit in the ocean of milk. Tell them I told. No problem. Give my reference. There is Amrit, which is invigorating ambrosia, which practically gives extremely long life with invigorated, powerful senses. Strike a deal and say we will share it at the end. And don't worry, when it comes to that, I will take care of the rest. The Lord didn't give detailed instructions, but that was enough. The Devatas had faith. The devotees have faith when the Lord says, I will protect you, that the Lord will protect them. They don't say, no, first you tell me what you're going to do. Detail. And you have to give me an updated status on WhatsApp. Now I'm going to do this, now I'm going to now do this. So that is not how the relationship between the Lord and the devotee works. Even for the greatest of souls, what to speak of the Devatas, who are generally considered Karma Mishra Bhaktas, even with the greatest of devotees, the Lord expects the devotee to surrender and put faith. And eventually things are manifest through the will of the Lord. Anyways, the demons are approached by the Devatas. Bali Maharaj likes the idea. Let's do it. They get together. We discuss the numerous challenges they had in coming together and churning the ocean of milk. Getting the mountain Mandar there, getting Vasuki, then the fire coming out from the mouth of Vasuki, burning them. Then the halahal coming, one of the biggest challenges. Lord Shiva coming to the rescue by drinking the poison. So it wasn't an easy path, neither for the Devatas nor for the demons. Slowly, when they persisted in their endeavors, despite all these obstacles, saved step by the Lord. Kurma at the bottom, Ajita at the top, balancing. Shiva comes and saves them from the halahala. Due course, Lakshmi Devi appears. And then that beautiful pastime of marrying Lord Hari, marrying Lord Ajita happens. Then Varuni comes. After Varuni comes Dhanvantari. Dhanvantari is carrying the nectar. We discussed how the demons had no patience. They immediately came, snatched away the pot of the pot of nectar, and ran away. And much to the shock and disappointment of the Devatas. And they were fighting amongst each other. I will take first, I will take first. Finally, Lord Vishnu took the form of Mohini Murti and with very sweet words, without telling lies, the Lord, by his illusory potency, tricked the demons who were too afraid to upset her and to get out of favor of her being so beautiful and attractive. Somehow The demons themselves approached the Lord and said, please settle the dispute for us. And then Mohini Murthy says, I will settle it in my style. Is it okay? Otherwise, don't trust me. I am just a Pumschali woman. You can't really trust me. No, 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 no. We trust you. We know. You definitely are very smart. You will manage it well. And okay, if you insist, don't stop me. I will do it in my way. And the demons and the devatas sat on either side. And the Lord in his Mohini form first came to the demons, spoke sweet words, and then went to the devatas and started distributing nectar. The demons were just too afraid to challenge her, thinking, no, 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 she will come. She's probably just giving them little. She's just coming. She's just coming. Then we discussed the beautiful pastime of Rahu, who figured out the trick of Mohini Murti, went and sat between Surya and Chandra. And just as he was drinking the nectar, he was detected by Surya and Chandra, and Mohini Murti took the form of Vishnu, invoked Sudarshan and chopped off his head. The head continued to live because the nectar had touched the head. And that's how Rahu got the position of a Graha, one of the planets, and became the enemy of Surya and Chandra. But by that time it was too late. The nectar was already distributed. The previous chapter concludes by that wonderful discussion of how even though the devatas and the demons put in equal effort, the devatas got their nectar and the demons simply got hard labor. This is very interesting, and there are quite a few verses, and we discussed this topic in a fair bit of detail. And the Bhagavatam reminds us that unless we take shelter of the Lord, all we will attain in all our material endeavors or endeavors in this world will simply be hard labor. Nate viduhu swartagatim hi Vishnum durashayaya bahirarthamanina. Prahlad Maharaj has already said the previous canto. What has he said? Durashayaya bahirarthamanina. Those who are demoniac in their attitude, do not take shelter of the Lord, simply try to enjoy sense gratification. Their hopes for enjoyment and happiness are continuously baffled. Durashaya. Asha means hope. Durashaya, hopelessly hopeful. This is the simple way in which material world can be described. We are hopelessly hopeful, even though we are being proven hopeless in our efforts to actually achieve any lasting happiness. Still, we are hopeful. No, I will get it right. I will get it right. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani declaration. So one must always take shelter of the Lord, because when one performs activities for the pleasure of the Lord, one becomes successful materially and at the same time evolve spiritually to slowly come to the point of eternally remaining connected to the Lord. Yoga. Initially one may do karma yoga, but eventually one will come to bhakti yoga when one actually develops his pure love for the Lord, revives his eternal relationship with the Lord. So the Bhagavatam strongly encourages that one should always do devotional endeavors for the pleasure of the Lord, because the demons, and this example is given, the demons did everything, but they didn't get. Similarly, Mahabharata war, right? Is it that the Kauravas didn't put enough effort, or did they put in less effort than the Pandavas? No. Both parties fought hard, but Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Last verse of Bhagavad Gita. Correct? Huh? Wherever there is Krishna, Yogeshwara Krishna, and wherever there is Partha, his pure devotee, there victory, opulence, morality, all will always reside. So what really matters is that we are on Krishna's side. Krishna is always on the right side. So if you are confused which side, then we should. Of course, if we are not clear which side Krishna is, we have to just ask which side Dharma is, which side welfare of all living entities is. Then one knows which side Krishna will be. So one should give up asat activities like the karmis and take shelter of sat activities, because even a little devotional service done to the Lord is beneficial. We must use Lakshmi in service of Narayan and not become like demons who want the Chanchala Lakshmi for their own enjoyment. Because when Lakshmi is approached as Chanchala, she remains flickering and fleeting. But when she is residing on the chest of Lord Hari, she is steady. Yeah, that is what it also discussed in this chapter. Devotees who come for service and stand in front of Lord Hari, pray to him. Who's the first to see them? Sometimes even the Lord will be sleeping. Who's the first to see them? Lakshmi. Recently there was Vara Lakshmi Puja. The Lakshmi who gives all kinds of good fortune, especially to the devotees. The demons, when they come to Lakshmi, she is not at all happy. In that case, as Chanchala Lakshmi, she performs the duty like a demigoddess. Come, you do, I give you some temporary opulence which will disappear, which will quickly go. Those who come to the Lord, her true blessings are on them. They don't have to come to Lakshmi. When they come to Narayan, Lakshmi sees them. Correct? In case you are worried, no, some want to keep only Lakshmi's picture in the home and pray. Why should I pray to Narayan? I want to pray to Lakshmi. But Lakshmi is busy seeing Narayan and being on the chest of Narayan. So when one approaches Narayan, Lakshmi sees them. Isn't that smarter? So anyway, in this way, the pastime of the Amrita getting distributed to the Devatas, that particular episode completed. It is said, because the demons were, in chapter 10 it says, because the demons were Vasudeva Paranmukha. Paranmukha means they had turned their face away from Vasudeva. They did not get what they wanted. And this is a very, very important message across the Bhagavatam. That those who want lasting happiness independent of the Lord will always continue to be baffled in their endeavors. That is the bottom line of the Bhagavad Gita. If you don't want to be baffled by material nature, if you don't want to be continuously hit by the trident of the threefold miseries, take shelter of the Lord, take shelter of the Lord, take shelter of the Lord. After this pastime happened, Lord Ajita, he left, he sat on the back of Garuda and he went back to his abode. Which abode? We already discussed in every Manvantara, the Lord goes back to the Vaikuntha planet. Which Vaikuntha planet? There is one Vaikuntha planet apart from the ocean of milk, the Shweta Dvipa. There is one more Vaikuntha planet above the Shweta Dvipa, where the Manvantara avatars reside. That is also known as Vaikuntha. Sometimes it is also known as Satyaloka. Sometimes. Sometimes Satyaloka, Brahmaloka is also interchangeably used, but when Brahmaloka and Satyaloka are mentioned, that Satyaloka refers to the spiritual world. So Lord Ajita with his consort went back. Now, after this episode ended, Lord Vishnu went back. Can you imagine what kind of anger and frustration the demons would have had, the Asuras? How, how terribly cheated they felt. They felt we worked so hard, we did so much, and just look at who took away all the fruits. So they were so angry, so angry, so angry. They, once Lord Vishnu departed, they were really determined to teach a lesson to the Devatas. So they got their act together, the demons, they gathered together and they launched a massive assault, a massive attack on the Devatas. A tremendous and ghastly, hair-raising, fierce battle ensued between the demons and the Devatas. The demons were attacking out of their frustration. The Devatas, by that time, having drunk nectar, they were feeling so powerful and confident. Come, we will take you head on. Massive battle. In fact, this entire chapter is about the battle of the Devatas and the demons. Barely any philosophical discussion. So, very interesting description of the battle. So, I'm going to describe a few things. A lot of details are given. Not much philosophical content. Most of the verses also have very brief purports. So, even though the chapter itself is long, more than 50 odd verses. It is said that as the battle began, both sides, trumpets, bugles, drums, sitting on backs of horses, elephants, both armies clash and equals were fighting with equals. Equals means one on elephant will fight another on elephant, a charioteer will fight a charioteer and infantry. So those were the rules of battle. Sometimes Asuras would not follow, but generally, at least they would start out by following the rules. The interesting thing mentioned is not only were the soldiers sitting on backs of horses and elephants, they were also sitting on backs of camels, asses, monkeys, tigers, lions, vultures, eagles, ducks, hawks, timingala fish, buffaloes, rhinos, bulls, jungle cows, jackals, rats, lizards, rabbits, human beings, etc. And now, do not ask me how all these things work, but these are obviously not from this world. Please do not think that we can sit on lizards and fight. That's not going to work. But obviously, these lizards are not the lizards which are roaming on your kitchen walls. Anyway, it's just showing that all kinds of varieties. So even the heavenly planets, all kinds of varieties are there. The soldiers were decorated with their flags and canopies and with jewels and umbrellas, very beautifully laden with all kinds of weapons. The leader of the demons was Maharaj Bali. He was sitting on a very splendid airplane known as the Vaihayasha, which was made by Maya demon. The Maya demon is especially a top technologist. He's very expert in technology. He's very expert in stealth warfare. Vaihayasha plane apparently sometimes would become visible, sometimes would not become visible. Like the stealth planes that nowadays, technologies are there. So Bali sitting on the Vaihayasha plane with a white umbrella, fanned by Chamara, surrounded by his commanders. Bali Maharaj was cheering the demons. Who are all these commanders of the demons? Namuchi, Shambara, Bana, Viprachitti, Kalanaba, Ilvala, Bhuta Santapa, Virochana, Sankushira, Shumba, Nishumba, Jamba, Utkala, Arishta, Arishtanemi, Tripura, Deepa, Maya, the sons of Puloma, Nivata Kavacha, and many others. Now, some of you who are familiar with Puranic stories may have heard all these names. I'm not going to go into them, but some of these names are well-known demons. They are famous demons. Or rather, infamous is the word I should use. Infamous demons. Famous is used in a good sense. On the other side, King Indra, who was leading the Devatas, was seated on Airavata. Before this battle, he was seated on a normal elephant. That's the normal elephant who made the crazy mistake of taking the garland of Durvasa and throwing it on the ground, right? Then finally, after Samudra Manthan, he got Airavata, who emerged from the milk ocean. Now he's seated on Airavata. It's very, 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 very powerful. tens and thousands of elephants' strength in Airavata. Surrounded by the Devatas like a sun rising from the Udaygiri mountains. The Devatas, headed by Indra and other commanders like Vayu, Agni, Varuna, and others, these armies clashed with each other. And pairs of demons were fighting. It is mentioned. I'll just quickly read out who was fighting with who. Indra was directly fighting with Bali Maharaj. Kartikeya was fighting with Taraka. Varuna was fighting with Heti. Mitra with Praheti. Yamaraj with Kalanabha. Vishwakarma with Mayadanav. Swastha with Shambara. Savitra with Virochana. Aparajita with Namuchi. Ashwini Kumaras with Vrishaparva. Suryadev was fighting the 100 sons of Bali Maharaj. Moon, Soma was fighting Rahu. Vayu with fighting Puloma. Bhadrakali was fighting with Shumbha and Nishumbha. Lord Shiva was there. He was fighting Jambha. So many other names are mentioned. So like that, various devatas were fighting with various, and they were slaughtering each other. It was a massive, bloody affair. Using all kinds of weapons, the Bushandis, the clubs, the Ulmukas, the Prashas, the lances, the Parigas. I do not exactly know what each of these mean, but clearly there are various kinds of sharp instruments which are used for decapitating in various ways. Various kinds of swords and lancets and spears and all that. They were slashing each other to pieces. Arms and thighs and legs and ornaments and armor was just scattering in all directions. There was dust everywhere. Blood was sprinkling. It is said there was so much blood sprinkling in the air. It was floating in the atmosphere. It was almost like clouding the sun. So much blood. Ghosts started entering the battlefield to help the demons. As the bodies of the demons were getting killed, ghosts were entering those bodies. And the heads would rise again in the sky, heads of the demons, with their bodies of ghosts. And they would attack the devatas. Then the Bhagavatam describes the conflict between Bali Maharaj and Indra. Bali Maharaj, seeing Indra on Airavat, quickly, very intelligently shot many arrows. 4 arrows at the 4 legs of Airavata to disable him. 10 arrows he shot at Indra. 4 at the 4 people who are guarding Airavat's legs. Airavat's legs were especially guarded by separate soldiers. And 1 at the driver of Airavat. So many arrows in one go, Bali Maharaj. Indra was so expert. Indra is very good at warfare. Indra, Kartikeya. Kartikeya is the Senapati of the Devatas. Indra was so good. He used his weapon known as the Bhalla weapon and he counteracted all those arrows. And once he saw that all his arrows were countered, Bali was so angry. He took up his Shakti weapon. Very, very powerful Shakti weapon. And he was about to discharge that weapon towards Indra, but even before he could get it out of his hands, Indra tore apart that weapon into pieces. Whatever weapons after that Bali was picking, Indra was just chopping it off before he could even do anything. When Bali Maharaj realized this was not working, when the demons realize their normal fighting skills are not working, what do demons resort to? Demoniac, Mayic illusions. They take shelter of illusions. They will take shelter of Mayic illusions. They'll take shelter of black magic, ghosts, all these demoniac things. They'll take shelter. These are all very demoniac things. And the demons are very expert in the black arts. So it is said Bali Maharaj created a huge giant mountain using his illusory potency. Probably he was trained by Maya Danav do all these things. Because he's the master of illusion. And from that mountain, showering on the devatas were burning trees, sharp stones and boulders, poisonous scorpions, snakes, all kinds of things, whatever terrible things you can imagine were showering on the devatas on this mountain. Many fierce looking, very deadly demons and demonesses, not wearing any clothes, holding fierce weapons, were, in a ghastly way rushing towards the devatas. And the devatas are so overwhelmed. The usual traditional battle going on, and suddenly, absolute chaos on the battlefield. And for a moment, the devatas felt so overwhelmed by the force of this sudden illusory attack. It appeared like there was a fire, like the Samvartaka fire going on everywhere around them, fierce winds and dark clouds. It was all the kinds of scary environment that you can imagine of was created. The devatas were disturbed, and they became morose. And when they realized that they were unable to counteract the illusion created by the demons, again the devatas took shelter of the supreme personality of God. Oh Lord, you were here until a little while ago. Everything was okay. You took care. You went to your abode. See what happened. These demons are back at it again. Please help us. Krishna Krishna Mahavaho Bhaktanam Bhavankara Tvam Eko Dhayyamananam Apavargosi. That's not a verse from this chapter, but that is the mood. That's the verse Uttara says to Krishna when she's attacked by the Brahmastra. Krishna Krishna Mahavaho Bhaktanam. The lotus-eyed Lord Hari appeared on the scene, seated on the back of Garuda to save his devotees. Yes, I am here. Dressed in yellow silk, the Kaustuba gem, goddess of fortune, the Srivatsa mark on his chest, beautiful, precious crown, and his beautiful Makara Kundala. He appeared on the scene with 8 hands. Now, this is very interesting. Sometimes, normally, Lord Vishnu has 4 arms. But oftentimes in battle, Lord Vishnu's form is also described with 8 arms. So 4 arms have Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, and there are another 4 arms. Dharari, Charma, Sukadeshu, Chapa, Pashan, Dadhano, Ashtaguno, Ashtabahu. In the Narayana Kavacha prayers in the 6th canto, 8th chapter, this 8-handed form of Lord Hari is described. He has a sword and shield. He has a pashan rope, and I think an elephant goad, if I'm not wrong, in the other 4 hands, apart from the, bow and arrow. In one hand, the a rope in the other, and then sword and shield, 2 hands, like that. Standing on the back of Garuda, his 8 hands. Harir Smriti Sarva Vipad Mokshanam. Indeed, the Bhagavatam says, simply by remembering Lord Hari, Vipada Mokshanam, one becomes free from all fear. Just as the Lord appeared very easily, all the illusion created by the demons was dispelled. Garuda is such a powerful entity. They said when Garuda flaps his wings, when Garuda flaps, it's not mentioned here, but the scripture says when Garuda flaps his wings, the verses of the Sama Vedas emerge as the sound of his flapping wings. That is Garuda's quality. So Lord Vishnu dispelled all the illusion which was created. Just as a person who's in a dream having a nightmare wakes up from the dream and realizes, oh, everything is okay. No problem. It was just a dream. Similarly, by Lord Vishnu's potency, all the illusion got dispelled. As the Lord was appearing and clearing all the illusion, the demon Kalanemi took a trident in his hand and aiming it towards Garuda's head, he swung it to attack Garuda. It is said Lord Vishnu intercepted that weapon, the trident, mid-air. In fact, he caught it with one of his hands. The weapon which was meant for Garuda, Lord Vishnu caught it with one hand, took it and flung it back at Kalanemi and killed him. Kalanemi is a very, very powerful demon. In fact, it is, if I am, anyway, I'll not go into that, otherwise you get distracted. Kalanemi demon is mentioned in many scriptures in many places. Then after that, the Lord fought with other demons, Mali, Sumali, Malyavan, with the Sudarshan Chakra, and also chopped off their head. Prabhupada explains in the purport, he says that as Lord Hari was killing these demons, behind the scenes, Sukracharya was busy reviving the demons with his Sanjivani Vidya. So even though these demons were killed, their bodies was brought back to life. So they are still alive. Like that. So anyway, the chapter ends here because the battle is not over. 57 verses actually. And the battle continues in the next chapter, chapter 11, which is almost 50 verses, 48 to be precise. So we'll continue the discussion of the battle in the next class. Before we end the class, just a very interesting observation. A point for all of us to contemplate, because we are discussing this not just for entertainment. We are discussing this to develop devotion to the Lord, to purify our heart, and also learn our lessons. One very interesting lesson stands out from this pastime. Can you imagine? So much hard work, and the Devatas finally got the nectar. So much hard work, and the demons finally got the nectar, even with the direct help of Lord Vishnu. Normally, one would have thought, finally done. Finally done, project achieved. Nothing else remains for me. I have got nectar. What more can I ask for? What happened? Even as they thought that we have achieved everything that we wanted to achieve, as soon as Lord Vishnu left, immediately the demons got themselves together and attacked the Devatas again. That is the nature of the material world. Problems never stop. Oftentimes we are busy praying to the Devatas. Save me, I am in trouble, I am in trouble. And then you read about the Devatas in the scriptures. They are also in big trouble. They are also busy solving problem after problem after problem. Lord Shiva is fighting here, Bhadrakali is fighting here, Lord Brahma is fighting here. I didn't mention all the names. Practically, any Devata that you can think of is here on the ground in the battle. So that is the nature of material life. No matter what you achieve, every time we achieve something substantial, we think, ha, abhi ho gaya. And this is all. Once I get this, life is set. Life is set. This, that job, that girl, that boy, that bank balance, that house, whatever our checklist says, life is set. when children are young, they think, oh, if I get into IIT and then after my IIT, I do IIM, uh, oh, my life is set. I was talking to one of my friends, just a couple of years elder to me. He got into IIT. He was telling me, once IIT and IIM, then my life is set. And he made it. IIT, IIM. But is life really set? Life is not set even for the Devatas, even not for Indra. There is nothing like being set in the matter. Even when Lord Vishnu is directly helping them, what more can you ask for, Prabhu? Can you ask for something more than this? So that is why those who are intelligent, they are not hankering for these things because that is the nature of the world. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. That's why Lord Hari is encouraging living entities to rise above this. The ocean will never become calm. If one is waiting, one day the ocean will become calm. Ocean will never become calm. We have to transcend. So that's a very interesting lesson which is coming through this beautiful pastime. So those who are thinking that Devatas will solve my problems, yeah, I mean, not that they don't have power to solve your problems, but don't forget that they also have their problems. In fact, the bigger you become, oftentimes poor people think rich people don't have problems. Rich people think very rich people don't have problems. Very rich people think the biggest billionaires don't have problems. The biggest billionaires think that those who are ruling the world, like a Trump or a Putin or whoever, ruling in the sense, who are at the top of the helms of power, they don't have a problem. Everyone's life is in a mess. The bigger one gets, for them, your problems may be trivial, but they are not dealing with your problems at your level. Do you think Narendra Modi, Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, they deal with our kind of problems? Oh, today, my bus got late. I couldn't reach the office early. Oh, I didn't get a very good review on my annual review of my job. Their problems are 1000x, not 1000, 1 million x of our problems. Problems which, if dealt incorrectly, can jeopardize the lives of millions, not billions of people. So, big power, big wealth also means big problems. So, sitting down, looking up, it seems as if, oh, that is a wonderful seat up there. And that person will show as if he's having a good, wonderful life because he's enjoying the envy of those who are sitting down materially. But the reality is he's also empty. He is also struggling. And this never ends. A Brahma Bhavana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. So what one should aspire for? Am upetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. That's what it is. That's why Bhur Bhuva Swaha and all the lower planets, 7 lower planets and Bhur Bhuva Swaha up to Swargaloka, all are karmis. Karmis means they're trying to enjoy and have a good life materially. Some may be doing it in a pious way, some may be doing it in a sinful way. But everyone is trying to enjoy matter. Only in the higher planet, Janar Mahar Tapar, Brahmalok, that's where the karmi tendency stops and the tendency for jnana, tapa comes stronger. They realize, Are Baba, enough. Don't want all this. I want to be just do tapasya, absorbed in meditation. I want to transcend. Then higher and higher and higher. So why I'm mentioning this is one thing which is very difficult to overcome. This is one illusion which is very difficult to overcome. Of course, while we are living in the material world, we have to make reasonable attempt to make our life and our life comfortable and our needs taken care of. But as a devotee, as a sadhaka, one should never be forgetful of the fact that problems are never going to end in the material world. They have not ended for the devatas. They have not ended even for the pure devotees. So please do not chase that elusive, perfect material situation in the material world, because there is nothing like that exists. Perfection that we are chasing is the perfection of consciousness of always remaining connected in love, having taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead despite what is happening around us, being undisturbed and absorbed in the devotional service of the Lord. Titikshasva Bharata. Krishna says, yes, this want to continue. Tolerate it. Don't get excited. Don't get too excited when things apparently go wonderful. You got nectar, don't get too excited. After nectar, they again came to batter you. Don't get too morose. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkadaha Agamapayino Anitya. Both the happiness is temporary and the pain is also temporary. This is going to continue. Never going to end. No matter who you become. There have been times even Brahmadev has been chased by demons and he has been running around. So let us aspire and chase after that one thing which is worth chasing, which is to find rest at Abhaya Charan, the fearless feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that shelter is awarded to us by Lord Balaram. Balaram is the Adi Guru. He is the representative of all Gurus. He is the source of all Gurus. There are three Shaktis, right? Samvit, Sandhini, Ladini of the Lord. Ladini Shakti is Radharani in charge. Samvit Shakti or the knowledge potency, Krishna is in charge. And the Sandhini Shakti, the existence potency, Balaram is in charge. That's why Balaram expands himself. After Krishna expands, his first expansion is Balaram. Everything else is expanded from Balaram. He's the existence potency. How is the existence potency? Everything that is existing in the spiritual world is expansion of Balaram. Krishna's slippers, Balaram is manifesting. Krishna's dhoti, Balaram is manifesting. Krishna's home, Balaram is manifesting. Krishna's Vrindavan abode, Balaram is manifesting. All existence. Krishna and Balaram, very amazing. That's why Balaramji is known as the first expansion of Krishna. The Prabhupada says between Krishna and Balaram there is no difference. Other than Krishna is dark and Balaram is whitish. Other than that, there is one more difference, but that is not a difference of uh, bodily features. Both are very, very extremely attractive, extremely beautiful. Krishna has the Ishvara Bhav. I am the Lord and enjoyer. But Balaram, even after being the first expansion of Krishna, has the Sevaka Bhav. I am the servant of Krishna. Balaram's consciousness is always contemplating on how to serve Krishna. That's why Balaramji, it is said, is that personality who serves Krishna in all the five rasas. In Shantaras, by being the dham, the slippers, the plate, the clothes, the jewelry of Krishna in Shantaras. In Dasyaras, sometimes he will render some service to Krishna. Sometimes he may just fan him also a bit. He will protect him. Sakya, he's friendly also with Krishna. They will wrestle together, play together. Vatsalya, being an elder brother, sometimes he will be very affectionate to Krishna, almost like a parent. And in Madhurya, Balram also takes the form of a gopi by the name of Ananga Manjari, who is the uh, younger sister of Radharani, Ananga Manjari. Sridama. Sridama is the brother of Radharani. Ananga Manjari is their younger sister. He takes that form like a gopi and serves Krishna. He serves Krishna in all ways because his whole and soul is service to Krishna. Whether as Balram, whether as Lakshman, whether as Lord Ananta, whether as Sheshanag, his main motivation is serving Krishna. So he's the one who helps the jivas. He gives the jivas the spiritual strength to execute their devotional service and to say no to Maya. That is why he's Balaram. Prabhupada oftentimes would quote the verse, Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhya. That this Atma, the self, cannot be attained by those who do not have strength. And Prabhupada says, do you need to go to the gym to get self-realization? No, this is not talking about physical strength. You don't need protein shakes and 1 hour in the gym to achieve spiritual perfection. You need spiritual strength. What is spiritual strength? Spiritual strength is the strength to remember Krishna always and the strength to say no to Maya. And that strength doesn't come without the blessings of Guru Balaram. Ayam Atma Balahinena Labhya. So we want that spiritual strength. When we have that spiritual strength and we take shelter of Krishna, then Balaramji will bring us to that platform and then Krishna will give us transcendental knowledge. Balaram will purify us of all the anarthas. Krishna will give us the knowledge of our spiritual form. Radharani will teach us how to serve. So all three are part of our journey, one step at a time. Balram, Krishna, and Radharani. So Balram is also Guru in one sense, Radharani is also Guru in one sense. Balram brings us up to the point of Krishna, and Radharani teaches us how to serve Krishna. Both have different Guru functions. So let us pray to Balramji that he blesses us with spiritual strength. He overlooks our shortcomings. Balramji has two weapons, the Gada and the Hala, right? The mace and the plow. Both are for, each of them is for a different purpose. The Gada is to crush what? Crush ignorance. Boom. And destroy ignorance. And the Hala, the plow, is to plow our heart. What does plowing the heart means? Weed out the anarthas which are in our heart. Because when ignorance is destroyed and the anarthas are removed, then only we will come to the platform. Come to the platform of being even eligible to serve Krishna. Correct? We at least have to come to that level first. Then the knowledge of one's Swarupa will come and then training in service will come. But first you have to come there, no? So all your ignorance has to be destroyed. Prema bhakti yaha hoite avidya vinashayate. Avidya is destroyed and then prema is given. That is the glory of the spiritual master. So our prayers to Sri Balaramji. There's a very beautiful verse in glorification of Balaram. We will conclude with that. This is a verse from the scripture. I'm not sure which, whether this is compilation by the Acharya, I do not recollect. This is known as Balaram's Pranama Mantra. Beside that, glorification and offering of obeisances. Namaste to Halagrama. Namaste Mushalayudha. Namaste Revati Kanta. Namaste Bhaktavatsala. Obeisances to you, O holder of the plough. Obeisances to you, O builder of the mace. Obeisances to you, O beloved of Revati. He is the husband of Revati. Obeisances to you who are very kind to your devotees. Namaste Balinam Shrestha. Namaste Dharanidhara. Pralambare Namaste tu. Rahimam Krishna Purvaja. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Balram, the best of the strong and the support of the earth. In his form of Shesha, he is supporting the Bhumandal. He is also an expansion of Lord Balram. Obeisances unto you, O enemy of Pralambari. Please deliver me, O elder brother of Krishna. So without Balram's special blessings, the Acharya says the anarthas will not go up. While sadhana is important, some of the deeper anarthas, especially the anarthas of puja, labha, pratishtha, the intense desire for name, fame, distinction, and self-gain is so deep-rooted in the heart. Devotees, even after 30, 40, 50, 100, not just years, but lifetime, still struggle. Unless they deeply, deeply take shelter and get that special mercy of Balaram, it's not easy. The Acharya says some anarthas don't simply go away by our own endeavor. It requires the special mercy of the spiritual master. So, very important to take shelter of the lotus feet of Balaramji. Thank you very much. Antara Srimad Bhagavatam. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai. Go through questions. Suresh Prabhu has asked, Fire Rasa's relationship also exists between Balaram and his devotees. Yeah. Balaram has various categories of devotees also. Actually, Balaram, like Krishna, has his own group of, just like Krishna has his 8 sakhas, his 8 special cowherd friends. Balaramji has also his 8 special own set of cowherd friends, very close to him. Just like Krishna has his close inner circle of gopis, Balaram also has his close inner circle of gopis. In fact, Balaram also performs his own Ras Leela, just like Krishna performs. But their gopis don't mix. Krishna's girlfriends and Balaram's girlfriends are different. So both are lords. But the only one independent supreme personality of Godhead is Krishna. That's why Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasa Kalabhritya. Other than Krishna, all other incarnations of the Lord, right from Balaramji, even though they are the Lord, they may come in front of you also as the Lord. In their own heart, their own attitude towards Krishna is that of servant. Very interesting. Very interesting. Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasa Kalabhritya. Very interesting. I'll tell one more small pastime. A very sweet thing. Just one more minute. Very sweet pastime. Once Balramji was thinking, oh, I am so powerful, I am so great. Everyone is glorifying Krishna. Although Balram is doing this just to glorify Krishna, but just enjoy the sweetness of the pastime. So Balramji, tells Krishna, what is so great about you? I can do whatever you do. So one day, early morning, Balramji dresses himself as Krishna. Okay, actually, not much difference, right? Bodily features also similar, just that he's a bit fair. He goes out dressed like Krishna with Krishna's flute. He goes out around Vrindavan. What's so special about Krishna? And it happens at the same time, a Keshi demon was sent by Kamsa to Vrindavan to kill Krishna. Keshi, the horse demon, is looking for Krishna in Vrindavan. Where is Krishna? And he sees Balram, and Balram is dressed as Krishna. Ah, here is Krishna. So Keshi goes and charges at Balram, and with his hind legs, he kicks Lord Balram on his chest. Very hard kick. And Balramji is so shocked. In his Leela, of course, what can a demon do to Balram? But the sweetness, just think of the sweetness. Balramji is so shocked. He's being kicked. He's so shocked and suffering. He runs back to Krishna. And he says, Krishna, here you take back your dress, you take back your clothes. Very dangerous to become you. I just wore your clothes for a few minutes and see what happened. I got kicked by this demon. So it is not easy to be Krishna. So anyway, there are so many such sweet pastimes of Braj. Suresh Prabhu, did I answer your question or you have another?
I have another question, bro.
Okay. This question
Balaram,
clear, no?
yeah, Balaram is Adi Guru and he removes all the anarthas. Then how Balaramji and Radharani are different in when it comes to devotion? How they help us?
I already answered that question. Balram makes us qualified to come onto the spiritual platform.
So once we are clear with Balaramji clears us, then only we go to Radharani.
Strictly speaking, yes, but Radharani, it's not that Radharani cannot do that, but Radharani's specific function is to serve Krishna directly and engage others in Krishna service and train them in Krishna service.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, no, see, in our spiritual journey, there are 3 steps. First, we have to undo all our material contamination. We have to come to the platform of Vishuddha Sattva, not just liberation, but come to the platform of spiritual transcendence. At that level, first, we have to be given knowledge of our eternal spiritual position. Who are we in the spiritual world? What is our bhava? Which village we are, under which gopi or gopa we are serving? What is our daily service to Krishna? So that is knowledge, spiritual knowledge of our form, service, dress, known as Ekadasha Bhava. One should get those 11 aspects of one's spiritual personality. That's step 2. Once you know that, after that you have to be trained for the job. Training of the job, how actually to serve Krishna, what Krishna likes and how to approach him. It's not that you go back to spiritual world, you straight walk to Krishna and say, come on Krishna, I'm here, let us play, come on. You have to understand the setting, you have to understand the relationships, you have to know how to approach him, when to do what. Cannot just go and spoil the party, cannot just walk in and, jump around. There's a way that things are done in Goloka. One has to be trained. One cannot simply go there and create a ruckus out of his excitement. I think you get the point, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So 3 steps like that. Purify. So the Guru brings us to the point of Krishna. Then the knowledge of our eternal position is revealed and then we are trained.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
something like that. Okay, yeah, Tarun Prabhu, you have something?
No, I have a different question, not related to the Balramji. Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Look, this is a question about Shukracharya and Narsimha Avatar and Hiranyakashipu. So, Shukracharya basically told Hiranyakashipu to go and do worship of Brahmaji and then take the boons to fight against Vishnu. But Shukracharya is already aware of, I believe, that who is the supreme personality of Godhead, who is the supreme authority, and even he misguided Hiranyakashipu to go to Brahmaji. ultimately then he is just diminishing him. So why did he do that? I didn't understand that.
First of all, I'm not sure whether going to Brahmaji was advised to Hiranyakashipu by Shukracharya. That I'm not sure. But nonetheless, I mean, your overall question is still valid. The thing is, uh, the demons never approach Lord Vishnu because Vishnu cannot be pleased by deceit and by self and worship of self-interested individuals. Lord Vishnu will never appear. Their boons will never be satisfied. So demons don't waste their time in the if you understand what I mean, from their perspective, waste their time because
Understood.
they're not going to get their objective. They are interested in certain material results. They want to do the necessary worship, get the fruit of that worship. And that is what Krishna says in the Gita, right? They go to the Devatas, they do their worship according to that, get that results. Devatas get their worship, they get their fruits, both are happy. Krishna is Krishna reciprocates with those who approach him with love. Krishna is not in need of anything. So Shukracharya may know, knowing theoretically that Lord Vishnu is supreme is not enough. If one's heart is still driven by desire for material wealth, material position, the Devatas also know, they also do so many mischief. Indra has also made so many mistakes. He doesn't know Lord Vishnu is the supreme. So the point is, when the heart is not yet fully purified, one is still bound by the sense of aham and mama, I, me, mine. What is of benefit to me? So that's the difference between bhakti and karma. Karma is about benefit for myself. Bhakti is about benefit, consideration of benefit for the Lord. So there may be individuals who are learned in scriptures and worship and yajna and other technicalities of the Vedas, but they may not have the heart of a devotee. They may have the theoretical knowledge. They will still use the Vedas ultimately for their own selfish gratification only. That is why even in the form of Shukracharya, when he was guiding Bali Maharaj, when Vamandev appeared and asked him for the 3 steps of land, Shukracharya was quick to go to Bali Maharaj and tell him, no, 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 don't do this. He is Vishnu, he is Vishnu. He's come here to cheat you. That the Acharyas say that he didn't do just out of benefit for Bali. He was thinking, if Bali loses all his wealth, who will give me my salary?
Oh, but
But Bali knew Bali was more advanced than Shukracharya in devotion, even though technically he was not a Brahman. But because he was the grandson of Prahlad, he had that blessings of Prahlad. In his heart, he understood there is nothing greater than surrendering to Vishnu. That's why he is glorified as the perfection of Sharanagati, Atma Samarpan. He rejected his guru's instruction and he surrendered. And he became glorified. So just knowing scriptures, being a Pandit, doesn't impress the Lord or doesn't make one very great. Right? So the key thing is, are we acting for our pleasure or are we acting for the Lord's pleasure? That is the bottom line of everything. That's why you see the behavior of Lakshman, see the behavior of Hanuman. Exclusive dedication to the pleasure of the Lord. I'm giving their example because their sacrifice is very evident. Sometimes in the pastimes of the gopis, it may not be so evident because their bhav and their rasas are so intimate, we may not be able to understand that. We can see in the pastimes of Lakshman, in the pastimes of Hanuman, every consideration. The extent of selflessness is just unimaginable. Okay, does that answer your question?
yes, I got it. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so one should still not disrespect such brahmanas because they're still brahmanas in the system. We should respect, but one doesn't want to accept such brahmanas as one's spiritual guides because they may be qualified in a ritualistic way, but they are not qualified or exalted in a spiritual way as Vaishnavas to guide us.
The Kandi Brahmas.
Karma Kandi. Yes. Okay, thank you. Tantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Sama.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you everyone. Tarun Prabhu,
Hare
Sudarshan,
Krishna,
Maita
Prabhuji.
Mataji, Haribol, Sarva Lakshmi Mataji,
you, Prabhuji.
Master, Hari Hari.